Before we begin, take some time to think about the different stages of development where your parents' actions have affected your life. Whether you have been affected for the good or the worse, Phoebe Kramer explains the reasoning behind this in 4 major parenting styles, as well as their connection to narcissism. In the Journal of Research and Personality, Phoebe Kramer wrote an article, Young Adult Narcissism, a 20-year-old longitudinal study of the contribution of parenting styles, preschool precursors of narcissism, and denial. The first type of parenting is the authoritarian or autocratic parent, demanding but not responsive. In this situation, the parent tries to shape and control every aspect of their child's life. It is comparable to a dictatorship where the parent expects obedience from their children without reasoning. Punishment is commonly used as a way to control the situation. The second type of parenting is the indulgent or permissive style, responsive but not demanding. This describes a parent that gives lots of affection but is very loose when it comes to enforcing rules and guidelines. They are extremely lenient, not requiring mature behavior. The third type of parenting is the indifferent or uninvolved parent, neither responsive nor demanding. In this situation, the child is basically left on their own. The parent encourages independency with very little support of their child. Parents expect their children to take care of everything by themselves. In other words, the child is responsible for their own life. The fourth and final parenting style is authoritative, both responsive and demanding. This is usually the most successful method of raising children as parents set up clear rules for their child. The difference between authoritative and authoritarian is that parents explain the reasoning for their actions to influence a certain behavior of their child. Authoritative parents are open to their child's point of view and give discipline rather than harsh punishment. Each of these parenting styles influence the development of an individual's sense of self in different ways. The way a child views his or herself is then related to the development of narcissism. A child's behavior is based on the demand and responsiveness. High or low levels of demand without being responsive to a child's needs makes them feel useless. They feel like they are unable to grow and learn new skills on their own, or they are simply left in the dark. It is important to balance out these levels so it does not interfere with positive development. Phoebe Kramer refers to narcissism as a defensive process. It is used to protect us from anxiety of a negative self-image. Narcissism is used as a cover-up of self-doubt and worthlessness. As narcissism deals with avoiding a negative interpretation of oneself, denial has a direct connection with narcissism in young adults. Now let's get to the interesting part. In order to investigate parenting styles and their connection with narcissism in young adults, a longitudinal study was conducted, studying the same group of preschoolers over a span of 20 years. In this study, both healthy and maladaptive narcissism were predicted. Healthy narcissism is being beneficial and resulting in a higher self-esteem and confidence throughout life, compared to the maladaptive narcissism, which may cause an unhealthy, selfish lifestyle. The hypothesis of the experiment states narcissism at age 23 will depend on the presence of early origins of narcissism as a child. Also, it includes denial as well as responsive and demanding parents. The experiment resulted in predictable and also surprising results. Healthy narcissism appeared when a child's needs were met early on in their life. Authoritative and indulgent or permissive parenting both fit under this category, which included a parent's response to their child's needs. On the other hand, authoritarian parenting styles which do not respond to a child's needs resulted in maladaptive narcissism. But there was one surprising result that came from the experiment. It stated indifferent parenting, which is also unresponsive to the child's needs, did not forecast maladaptive narcissism. A few limitations may have contributed to this experiment, resulting in skewed results. For example, it is assumed that the effective parenting is the cause of narcissism. But what if it is the other way around? It is unlikely, but it is possible that the narcissistic behavior of the preschoolers could have influenced the parenting style of the mother or father. But overall, there was a direct correlation to the presence of narcissism and the children's style of parenting. A few limitations may have contributed to this experiment.